It's a bird. It's a plane. No, you dumbass. It's your favorite internet shit, Lord Oslo. Back at it again to talk about our favorite Twitch streamer, DarkSydePhil.
Hey, quit fapping.
He actually talked to someone that wasn't his crack whore wife or his cat Jasper. Big deal, I know. But who was this mysterious stranger Phil talked to? The Quartering, a turbo nerd on YouTube. After buttering up the pig with verbal dick sucking and 10 gifted subs, he somehow got himself an interview with the dark side himself. It was pretty fucking boring, but instead of having one spurg, we have two. Double the spurg, double the autism. Let's roll. Part 1, the questions that were lame and I didn't use in this video because they were fucking lame. Lame ass questions include, whose nudes do you have from Twitch? Do you have a favorite titty mod for Skyrim? Spoiler alert, the best titty mod for Skyrim is just going and get some real titties. Are you living in Seattle now? This is a lame question because if DSP moved, we would have all known about it because he would have been begging even harder than he already is. Also, where did the load go? Obviously went all over his fat little belly or a little bit on his shirt. With those lame bits out of the way, let's keep moving forward. Part 2, the actual questions.
So, you know, hey, I'm a YouTuber too. I'm a content creator just like you. What are your plans for post YouTube, you know, or post streaming? Or have you even thought of that?
All right, Jeremy, that was a pretty good question. How did Phil respond?
Yeah, you know, first of all, when I started, I never wanted to do this for a living at all. This was only, I wanted to do this for a hobby. And then I lost my full-time job. Out of nowhere, I got laid off, blindsided. And I just had this YouTube thing going on the side for like 2.5 years that had kind of blown up and gone viral.
This is back like 2012, 2013-ish era, right?
Actually, even before then, I lost my job in October of 2010.
Okay.
And so we're talking real old school. This was before like you could even monetize gameplay videos on YouTube. They wouldn't even let you put ads on them yet. And I lost my job. I was like, what am I going to do? And I already had this YouTube channel that had a good following, but it was only for gameplay. And I was like, shit, I can't monetize that. What do I do? So I had a vlogging channel where I was doing stupid crap. I was making food that was terrible food and
it does not require a lot of cooking skill whatsoever. I'll just do cheese and chicken. I've seen people just do cheese and chicken, and I'm like, that's so bland.
I obviously don't have that kind of time being a gamer, and I have like 100 other games to play and 100 other videos to do.
You know, just dumb stuff, just to have some variety in my content. I said, maybe I can monetize that. So I did, and because people felt so bad about me losing my job, they actually like went nuts on the ads.
Entertain you in the future. Please go to my partner channel, The King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up on the videos there, because hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, that actually starts giving me some money back for what I'm doing. I mean,
and I made like a ton of money in a couple months, which is like one of my first controversies was that I got kicked out of Google AdSense within 2 months because they claimed that I did like invalid click activity when I didn't. It was because my fans were like so supportive of me and felt bad that I lost my job that they were clicking the crap out of my ads. But then in 2011, I got partnered with Machinima. And that's how I was able to start monetizing my gameplay videos. And I was
rest in
like
peace, by the way,
load.
Machinima.
Yeah,
you outlasted them too. Another person that DSP has outlasted.
Yeah, that's a whole other story for another day. I was one of the people who stayed with them the longest after years of people telling me to leave them and abandon them because they saw the warning signs of them being a bad company and falling apart. But I stuck with them almost till the very end until basically they mistreated me, and I was like the last guy. I was like, I've stuck up with you guys all these years. You're gonna treat me bad. I'm out of here. But anyway, yeah,
I
like
know they had an interesting reputation. You know, you're right. They profit off of a lot of creators in the beginning that, I mean, shoot, I've been on YouTube so long that I don't know. You probably remember this too. Remember you needed like 10,000 subscribers before you could have your own channel banner. Remember you get like you know, like back in the good old days. But then I remember Machinima back then was, you know, everybody wanted it. It's the only way you can make money.
Right. You had to be with someone to monetize anything really, or gameplay in particular. Because in 2011, if you weren't with a partnership company, you couldn't make a dime on a gameplay video, and that's what I was known for, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, to get back to your original question, like I never planned on doing this to make any money. Like it fell in my lap out of nowhere overnight. I was like, oh crap, this is amazing. I'm making more money now than I ever did at my office job. You know, for 5 years that I was working there, they laid me off, and now I'm making like so much more money. It's crazy. Of course, we all know that bubble didn't last. It burst, and you know, now everything is so bad on YouTube. You know, long term for me, I absolutely love having an audience that cares about what I say and do on a daily basis. Like, I never thought in my life I would have anyone who gave a shit about what I cared about, anything about a game or anything about any opinion about anything, right? It's pretty awesome to know that there's hundreds of people, thousands of people on my YouTube channel on a daily basis that want to know what I'm up to, what I'm playing, what's my opinion on a game, what's my opinion on this or that. So I don't want to like ever say that in my life I would quit doing this outright, but it's pretty unrealistic to expect that you could ever do this your whole life. That's insane. This is going to, just like everything else, it's going to get fade out. It's going to become played out. This will be the next new big thing. And even in the 11 years now that I've done this, I went from being a guy who recorded with a camera, not even like live streaming or direct capture. I had an actual camera, a digital camera that I pointed at my TV and was recording videos with a memory card, to do gameplay. And then I went to direct capture to live streaming. Then I basically gave up on YouTube 2.5 years ago, and I'm mostly a primary live streamer now. I've evolved and changed so much over the last 11 years. Who knows what it's going to be in the next 2-3 years? Will YouTube still be how it is? Will Twitch change? Will Mixer become the next big thing? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. And you can't rely on that. You can't rely on that to be steady income. It just sucks that I've kind of now gotten myself into a shitty situation where I'm stuck doing what I'm doing. But my goal is that within, say, 5 years, I can get myself out of any kind of financial pressures outside of the realm of me having fun on stream and say, okay, I still want to stream, but I want to have a solid job, a steady job outside of that I can do daytime. And then maybe I come home and stream 2-3 hours a night, a few days a week, and I split my time between them because I know I'm always going to have that following. Like you said, I've got longevity. I've been here 11 years, and I'm always going to have some people who are interested if I stream at 1 hour a week. I'll have people come out to see what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But there's no way I could do this full time. I have to do something different. I know that.
Yeah, that. So a lot of people ask questions like, people ask me this too, and I know how I would answer it. But they're like, what would you even if you couldn't make money? Would you still stream? And it sounds like you answer that basically like, well, sure, but I've got to pay my bills first.
Right, it'd be way less. I would obviously have a job that would be my main focus, but I would love to do this like I used to do YouTube as a 2-hour hobby a night. Right, come home and I'm able to do a little bit of streaming. The difference now is I can actually make money on that 2-hour stream every night. When back then I was just doing it for a hobby. I wasn't monetizing the videos or anything. It was just like for 2.5 years I was uploading gameplay videos to YouTube before I ever made a dime doing anything.
Dark, you didn't answer the fucking question. What is your post-stream plan? And you just went, man, I was making so much money. You just gave your life fucking story. Nobody fucking cares about your life story that you've given 1,000,000,001 times, you fucking dumbass.
What do you think of the modern state of Twitch with kind of their push towards, IRL streamers and these like political debate channels and stuff like that? What
fucking thoughts that have turned your platform into a fucking joke?
What do you think about all that?
I think there's a space for everything. Like, I think that it was weird because Twitch started as Justin TV, which was supposed to be like that stuff. Yeah. But then they said, oh, we're going to become Twitch TV and it's only gaming. In fact, I had a friend who was doing a show on Twitch TV, and when they became Twitch, they told him, you can't do your show anymore because it's not about gaming. He was like, what? They actually pushed him off of Twitch and said, we won't let you stream here unless you're going to do games. And now here we are years later. They changed their mind. Now they want everything back. But yeah, I think there's a place. Yeah. I think there's a place for everything. I really do. I think there's a space for everything. But for me, like, I would not want to go there. I am known as a gamer.
We know, Phil, you're Mr. Gamer Boy who just wants to play video games. And you think everything, quote unquote, should have a space? Then why do you bitch about your troll channels?
Really makes you think.
Who's that Pokemon? These nuts. Got him!
With chat, you spend a decent amount of time acknowledging your trolls. That must be on purpose, right? Like, so when I see trolls in my live chat, I'll either mute them or not acknowledge them. But it is part of your show, and I know you must know. You're not an idiot. You must know that some people are hate watching you, and so you interact with people or whatever the case may be. Where do you think? How does that work into your live stream? Interacting with these people that are just always in your orbit, just to shit on you.
Okay, I'm going to answer this for you, Phil. You cry, you bitch, and then you ban.
Right. I mean, when I started, it wasn't like that. When I started, it was YouTube. Because I remember I started exclusively on YouTube. I wasn't even live streaming. And it used to be like, people legitimately would come to watch your content because they were looking for something positive. They were looking for something fun, something energetic. They wanted to be a part. They were excited, right? They were always excited to be part of this new thing on YouTube. That was 10, 11 years ago. At some point, it became, we're here to shit. We're just here to take a big dump on everybody. We don't care what you do or what it is. We have to find the faults and destroy you. And they get jollies doing that, you know? And I've noticed in the last, you know, I'd say probably started in 2012. I know that's a long time ago, but
Not
you know,
for
over
me.
the years.
Yeah.
There's a giant group of people now who just are only there to crap on me. Now, I could completely ignore them. That's true. I could over moderate. That's true. And to some extent, I used to do that. Like when I was just on YouTube, I used to heavily police my comments on my videos, heavily police them to the point where people were like, I don't like watching Phil's videos because I can't comment. When I comment, everything seems like it's super policed and commented on there or you know, moderated on there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it anymore. I was a one-man army. I wasn't going to sit there moderating my stuff all day. I had a life. I wanted to make more gameplay. I wanted to do other stuff. I couldn't just sit there. So at one point, I just let it go. And what I noticed systematically is over the years, more toxic people came in, more stuff just kept crapping on the videos, to the point where I noticed, like, you know, everything was still good when it came to my fans. My fans still loved my content and wanted to come see it, but there was this increasing like cloud over my head of people following me around saying negative things. And you're right. I think originally I kind of, back in the day when it first started, this negative cloud behind me, I reacted to it the worst possible way. I acknowledged it. I complained about it. I said it's not fair. I whined. I screamed. I made a big tantrum. All these guys are jerks. How could they do this? You know, there was this movement on YouTube called This Is How You Don't Play that was created off of me and my gameplay. And if I had reacted in a different way to it and probably said, oh, that's funny. That's a funny montage that people made of me. You know, it probably wouldn't have ever blown up to what it was. But they liked the fact that when they made these videos about me that I reacted to them. Oh, I got the reaction I wanted out of Phil.
Yeah.
And now when he plays a game, it's more about getting him to get angry or fail at a game so we can make another one of these to get attention for us and just kept feeding itself to become this like organic entity of this toxic cloud that kept growing and growing. So when I stream now, I realize that cloud's always there. It's never going to go away. It's associated with me permanently now, right? It's attached to me permanently. What I try to do is balance it. I can't say it doesn't exist because there are people who actively will come in my chat and actually are supportive. They'll contribute via, you know, the methods you contribute on Twitch, and they'll help me to keep going, but they're only there to really wait for that moment when I screw up in a fighting game and I swear and I get angry at the person or I overreact in a game. You know, they're waiting for that moment of fail to really latch on and say, haha, I got him. Now let's make fun of him and stuff. You got to kind of laugh with it, you know. And back then, when I first started, like I said, earlier days, 7, 8 years ago, I wasn't like that. I thought my shit didn't stink. I was like, how could anyone criticize me or make fun of me? That's not right. Now I'm a different person. Like I've learned over the years, you got to roll with that. Now, some people say don't acknowledge it at all. But the thing is, if a lot of people are doing it and you don't acknowledge it at all, now it's like they're not going to come back. Or at the same time, what I've noticed is some people, if they don't get that acknowledgement, it just makes it worse. They'll try to find another way to intrude. If I just let it roll and pretend like it's a natural part of my stream, it doesn't bother people that much. In fact, there's a few negative memes that have come up that at first they pissed me off, but I realized if I embrace the meme and I make it my own, it's not a big deal anymore. And so that's what I've been trying to do. I make emotes now in my chat of some of the memes that are negative memes because that way it takes the power away from them and people don't see it as a negative anymore because everyone's doing it, right?
I'm taking it back. You watch.
Wrong. It just proves that you're a giant fucking cuck.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been trying to embrace it in the last couple of years since I've become a full-time streamer is understand it's there, recognize when it's there. Don't make the whole stream about it because there's positive people there who are there to also enjoy my content on a positive level. And they don't want to just hear negative the whole stream. But if it's there, laugh at it, make a sarcastic comment about it, and move on. Don't dwell on it all the time. But at the same time, when you allow that thing to have power, you know what I mean? It gets even worse. And at the same time, if you don't acknowledge it at all, that's a group of people that, number one, could be contributing and they're not because now they feel like you don't care anymore. And number two, that's a group of people that might find another way to hurt you more maliciously behind the scenes because what they're doing isn't working. So let's find another way to screw him, you know, behind the scenes that's not on his live stream. Yeah,
that's good to hear because, you know, I told people when I said we were going to talk, people are like, oh, he's not going to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. When I talked to him in private, he understood. He's like, look, we can talk about the shit where I fucked up. You know, we could talk about some of the funny stuff. I don't want to talk about personal finances, by the way, which is fine. I don't want to talk about my exes, which is also, by the way, fine.
Also love the little at the end there, where Dark realized he dodged his two biggest bullets, money and pussy.
So a lot of questions pertain to this documentary, which you probably know. I don't know if you ever watched it, but I'm not going to ask any specifics from it, but I'm only going to ask if you watched it. And it's this down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I've never seen the thing. I've heard about it. I've seen snippets of it, but I've never just sat down and watched it. And I basically know that these things exist out there about me, and I know that some of them are fair and some of them are completely unfair. I've heard this is one of the more fair ones.
I would say I've watched it twice.
Maybe Dark, for the next retrospective, you should watch the documentary.
Wait, I'm gonna bring up a question that I think anybody else asking it would bother you, but I will tell you first. I have gout.
Are you fucking kidding me? Quarter Pounder has quarter gouter? It's motherfucking destiny that these two internet faggot boys connect on a deep emotional level involving deep pain in their fucking foot. If DSP and the Quartering were gonna star in a boys novel detective series, it'd be called The Gouty Brothers. This is incredible news. Just boys, bring me the memes. Bring me all of the memes.
Now that's edgy as fuck.
One of the things so many people bring up is fucking, like, I'm not gonna ask you anything specific, but as a content creator, I had to learn the hard way, just like you did, and I'm thinking I understand the situation better than most of the detractors would.
Obviously, the big turbo nerd McGee Quartering, soy boy extraordinaire, knows more than the lads that actually, make fun of Phil, expose Phil for his bullshit. He totally knows, guys. Look at him, he's so smart.
A lot of people bring up the taxes shit. And I try to explain to people what it's like getting big checks from YouTube or Twitch and learning to plan financially around that. My first 2 years, I was making any money on YouTube. I had 1 year I had to pay in like $40,000 and I had nothing, right? So I was like I had to extend my taxes to October, and I had like $5,000. I had to borrow money from my parents just to pay my fucking taxes.
Just like when DSP's mom bailed him out of his tax situation. I swear to God, DarkSydePhil and the Quartering's destinies are like entwined, or they have like similar timelines. Some autistic black magic is afoot. That's all I'm saying.
And then the next year, my accountant was like, "Hey, you should really be paying in every month." And I was like, "I just borrowed all this money from my parents. I got to pay them back. Plus, I got to pay my life, pay my bills. I can't do that." And only recently did I end up in a situation where I can effectively plan around income and pay in every month. Is that something is that kind of describe why things are tight the way they are, or am I not understanding? Because I'm thinking when people bring up your taxes, I'm like, oh, I know why. Because he's like me, he didn't fucking pay his taxes, and all of a sudden they're like, whoops, you owe this bunch of money, and then you end up behind, and then behind, and then behind,
right?
Things like that.
For me, it's okay. That's obviously that factors into it, but sadly for me, my story is it's a lot more complex. I can go into it, and I guess you can make a judgment call on if this is something that people should hear or not, I guess.
All right, let me write down the timestamp so I can go back, and you can decide later if you want me to keep it. Go ahead.
So when I started on YouTube, I was making ridiculous money out of nowhere. It was just insane, the amount of money I was making. For 2 years, I made more money than I'll probably ever make in my life in 2 years. Like, it was just insane. I couldn't believe it. And then after that, the bubble burst. It was the first bubble that burst on YouTube. And the money went, boom. I'm like, okay, I'm still making good money. Like, even with the dip, I'm still making crazy good money. And I took all that money that I made in those years, and I saved a lot of it, and I used it to pay off all my previous debts of my life. Like, I had student loans. I had all kinds of shit, and I paid it all off. So I was in the clear. Like, essentially, all I had was a mortgage on a condo in Connecticut that I lived in, where I made all my content in. And that was it. That was, and by the way, not a ritzy place or whatever, but Connecticut is expensive as shit. Connecticut is very expensive. So even a little place costs over $100,000 in Connecticut. That's how crazy expensive everything is there.
Sure.
So I have this mortgage and no debt.
How long
At that
ago
point,
was
I was
this?
living. What's that?
How long ago was this? Early 2000s?
That was 2011, 2012, and to some extent 2013.
Gotcha.
So I was making so much money that I was like, I gotta get out of here. I hate living in Connecticut. I seriously got to get out of this state. The state is way too expensive. The taxes there are astronomically high.
Yeah.
I'm paying state tax plus a business tax, like a extra tax on top of it, plus federal income tax, and prices are high. Everything's like insane. Why am I operating a business out of Connecticut when I'm a YouTuber? I could live in a million other places that are cheaper.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. Yeah.
So I looked at that point. I looked at the whole country, and I was looking at different areas. Florida and Texas are both like ridiculously good for business, but the weather sucks.
Yeah.
So I didn't want
hot.
to live there.
You might like
Very
that.
hot.
Some people
Humid,
like it.
hot. Yeah.
I live in
So
Wisconsin. I don't like it, but a
So
lot of internet personalities live in Texas. I noticed.
yeah, very apparently like one of the best business
For
friendly
taxes.
states for taxes. It's like nothing. You get away with everything basically. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing my research, I'm doing all this research, and I find out about the state of Washington. They have no state income tax, but they, the taxes here are
The
decently.
sales tax are high though, right?
Sales tax, I believe, is around 10%.
Yeah, it's
But
very
I was
high.
already paying 7% in Connecticut,
Yeah.
and out here with no state income tax, it's way bigger savings because I'd rather spend money when I choose to spend than just have it taken away by default. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah,
So
it makes sense.
So out here, the weather I like better and everything. The houses out here way cheaper than in Connecticut. Like I could get a place 5 times bigger than what I had in Connecticut for the same price. That's how crazy it was. So eventually in 2014, I moved out here, and I got this place. This is where I live now.
Where's
and
this
so
with
now
your YouTube timeline? This is you're on Twitch now at 2014, right?
Well, I had started doing direct capture in 2013 and streaming on Twitch, but I was not a full-time streamer. In fact, I never took streaming seriously at all until 2017 when the adpocalypse happened on YouTube.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I streamed, but I made no money doing it. It was a fan service for people who wanted to see me live. I was still 100% in on income I was getting from YouTube ad revenue. That was my way I was making a living.
Okay.
So I moved in 2014. And I'll be honest with you, my channel was starting to slow down. You could see it was getting a slow decline, but there was no like shocking warning signs that things were going to go horribly wrong. Within 1 year of me moving out here, just to give you some perspective here, okay?
Yeah.
I got swatted. I
that's scary.
had a ton of stuff happen behind the scenes to my family that I don't even want to talk about publicly because it's shocking.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. My channels were stricken down repeatedly with false copyright strikes because YouTube's program is such a piece of garbage. You can just impersonate whoever you want.
Yeah.
And it forced my channel to lose
Was that
millions
the
of
Bethesda
views.
bullshit? Was that where
No.
somebody like impersonated or Ubisoft or something?
No, that was the first time that ever happened was back in 2010, and that's why I created a new channel called DSP Gaming. Originally, I was just under DarkSydePhil, and someone impersonated an Ubisoft employee and got DarkSydePhil shut down, so I started DSP Gaming. Later, I got that cleared up.
Yeah.
But in 2015, people impersonated different gaming companies, and then they actually listen to this conspiracy. Okay,
Yeah.
They actually made fan art for me to use in my videos.
Oh,
and
I
they
heard
put it
about
up-
this.
Yeah,
I heard
they
about
put it
this.
up on my forums in like January, February of 2015. Oh, Phil, here, use this fan art.
That's
They
brutal.
waited for me.
Yeah.
They waited 6 months for me to use the fan art in all these videos, and then they struck them all down on YouTube, saying that I'd
Yeah.
stolen it without permission.
That was brutal. That was
And
bad.
Overnight, I had to delete so many videos that my channel lost like around, I think it was between 6 to 10 million views. And when that happens with the YouTube channel,
Yeah.
YouTube essentially says that's a red flag. Something's really wrong with the channel that's losing 10 million views. It must have been that they were doing something underhanded or whatever. And
Yeah.
immediately what the algorithm does, it kicks your channel from the search ratings.
Yep.
So overnight,
Yeah.
my channel, DSP Gaming, that used to be one of the top channels always for gaming, became unheard of. And no one could find it on YouTube. People would search for my videos and couldn't find them on YouTube. And that was the first year during the fall gaming season when a bunch of new video games always come out, September, October,
It's the
November,
money.
December.
Yeah, it's the money
That's
months.
the money
October.
season.
Yeah.
I would get a giant spike in views and a giant spike in money. My views went down.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And ever since then, it's been thing after thing. Wait till you hear the next one. So that was 2015. So I'm trying to recover from that. It's very hard because now I've got all this debt in my name. I've got 2 homes in my name, all this stuff going on. Then the next year, I find out my tax accountant from Connecticut did my taxes wrong for several years.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he
I
screwed
know
me
what
over.
it's like filing as a internet personality. Good luck finding an accountant that knows how to fucking do that. You know, like
Well, this one was just laziness. This guy, when I moved out here to the state of Washington, told me, don't worry, even though I'm stationed in Connecticut, I can continue to do your taxes for you. I know what I'm doing. I'm a good guy. I know everything. So he did my taxes for 2014, 2015, 2016. I get a notice at the end of, well, it was during 2017. I get a notice from the state here. Were you aware that... Yeah, the Washington State. Are you aware that there's business taxes here that you haven't paid for 3 or 4 years, and now you owe us all this money in back taxes? I was like, what? I was told by my guy there's nothing. So I contact my guy. He's like, oh, I don't know, nothing. Don't talk to me no more. Basically, that was his approach. Like, I don't want to hear nothing, because he was afraid I was going to sue him. So I had to find a new tax guy. I ended up being so much money in the hole, and now my tax guy charges me so much money to fix this issue. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, okay, out of nowhere. Money that I already had a decrease in income because of all that trolling activity and the false copyright strikes, and I'm just trying to recover from that, and then this happens on top of it. And since then, it's like seriously thing after thing, and I can't talk about all of it publicly because there's personal things that happen behind the scenes that I cannot disclose. But it's just like, it's a shitty situation where like I'm stuck. And there's no way to fix it. There's no quick fix solution. I'm stuck with multiple properties. The one in Connecticut I can't get rid of because the property I owe way more on the mortgage than what it's worth. The property value actually dipped in the 10 years that I
about that. People asked about the other property. So you're still stuck with that now?
I'm stuck with it.
Unload it?
I can't unload it. I tried short selling it. It got declined. They won't do it. I can't get rid of it. And essentially, it's to the point where no matter what I do, I'm screwed. So I have to choose the lesser of two evils. Do I ruin my credit?
You know, my sister's in that same spot. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's what the people constantly ask me, why are you always asking for money on streams? I don't want to. If you actually watch back in the day when I was on YouTube and I was making the big money before all this happened, I never asked for anything. I was happy. I just come make videos, put out the content. It was never about that. I don't want my streams to be about that. In fact, when I'm doing a live stream, the reason I do this lengthy pre-stream is because I want to get that bullshit out of the way so we can have fun with games. That's all I want to talk about is having fun with games. I don't want to have it to be, I have to constantly be like, oh, by the way, reminder, guys, help me with the tip and do this and do that. Whatever. That's not the kind of guy I am, but that's what I've been forced to become over the years because of my financial situation behind the scenes. And people bring it up constantly that Phil's a shill and Phil's only about the money. It's like, but I did YouTube for 2.5 years and never made any money doing it because I loved doing it. Then when I was a full-time YouTuber for 6 years, I wasn't hassling people for money constantly. It was only until all of a sudden in the past 3.5 to 4 years that all these things compiled on top. These really, I mean, I know it's a ridiculous story. Like, so you're going to tell me, Phil, really we're supposed to believe that false copyright strikes made your channel die on YouTube, then your taxes were done wrong, then more stuff happened. Yeah, I know it's a crazy story, but that's my life at this point. And it sucks that that's the reality I live in. And I have to do like I'm doing an event coming up tomorrow where I'm hoping to raise some extra funds so that I can pay bills for this coming month. Because if I don't, I'm going to be screwed. I will have overdrafts. I will have fees. People will be calling me, where's your money? Where's the money? And it's like I said, it's come to the point in my personal life now where I have to make a decision. What do I ruin? Who do I not pay, or what decision do I make that's going to ruin my life because of these things that have all compiled? And my hope is that within 5 to 10 years, I can get this cleared up and I can get a full-time job outside of YouTube and Twitch where I've got consistent income that's not reliant on things that can be screwed over for me. And then I can balance that with maybe streaming 2 hours a day, 5 times a week, and I have extra income from that. And I can wean myself off of being such a guy who's forced to be here 6 days a week full-time. Because I am. I can't not. The day I don't stream is the day another bill doesn't get paid. And that's the situation I'm in, and people don't seem to understand that. They think I'm making it up. They think that my money is being put into some bank in the Cayman Islands and I got a yacht somewhere. You know, there's crazy stuff that they say.
You don't strike me as somebody that lives lavishly.
The thing is, my house is nice. Like, this house here is pretty nice. And the reason that it's a nice house is because, like I said, in Washington, house prices are really cheap compared to what I came from in Connecticut. So I was able to get a house for a really reasonable price when I bought it. But you're right. Like, the stuff around me is old. Nothing. I've had this microphone for 4 years. You know, I haven't bought a backup hard drive to back up videos in 2 years because I can't afford to do it anymore. Like, I'm just done. I've cut every corner, And you're right. Like, I used to be the guy when I made so much money on YouTube. Look at the new statue I frivolously bought today of a Marvel character. I don't do that stuff. I can't afford that anymore. I can't do anything anymore. But people want to pretend like I'm still the Phil from back then and like I'm pulling some scam every day, a new way to scam the viewers and make money, when in reality, it's just a really messed up life situation I'm in. And I hope to one day get out of it.
That was a weird trip to Retcon City. What's the next clip?
I mean, look, neither one of us are going to do this. Probably 5 years from now, we're both not doing this anymore.
At least not full time. No way.
Yeah, right. What would be your dream job type? Or like, you know, it doesn't have to be a dream job, but you know, the type of field you'd like to be in after you stabilize.
See, for me, ultimately, my old plan when I was making the big money on YouTube was that I wanted to do that for, say, maybe 5 to 7 years and save up enough money that I could open up a different kind of business, completely separate from the internet, a brick and mortar business. What it would have been, I have absolutely no idea. I tossed around ideas with relatives and stuff that I could do a restaurant, I could do a some kind of a sales business.
First off, would you eat this man's cooking? Second, would you take financial or marketing advice from this retard?
Who knows, right? I don't know, but that was my plan. Was I knew that even back then the YouTube thing wasn't going to last forever, and that I wanted to diversify and do something completely different. And the money I was making at that point looked like I would be able to save it up and do it. And then all the stuff happened to me over the years that's not viable anymore. You know, that would be my dream thing, to be able to own and operate my own business outside of YouTube, and outside of Twitch. That would be something that I could say, not only am I my own boss, which I am now, but now I could do something that maybe isn't so reliant on internet interactivity and so people messing with you constantly. You know what I mean? Yeah. You come to my stream and you mess with me, you get moderated or whatever, big deal. You come to a business and you start doing stuff in person, you're gonna get arrested. Right? There's a big difference there. And I know that would probably be something more I could control or whatever. Of course, you always have an online factor. Imagine if I had a restaurant and the trolls
yeah, it would be the best.
Could you imagine DarkSydePhil's restaurant? Mamma mia, pasta power, come on down to Phil Brunel's Pasta Warehouse. Inside you will find nothing but the sugariest sauce for your spaghetti, dairy juice, wine, and Phil's wife will blow you in the back for $5. Come on down to Phil Brunel's Italian Warehouse. It's Italiano.
Bitch.
You'd have
his spaghetti his spaghetti smells like his gout or something, you know. Yeah, it's just the dumbest shit. But that's what I mean. Like, that's what I always wanted to do, and it just sucks because right now that's the dream. The dream would be, let's say in 5 years I could get myself to a better position. I could just do any kind of job to get myself stable, and eventually if I could save money to do it. But I don't know. At this point, like, you know, those days are kind of gone, you know, where I have those kind of aspirations. To me, I just want to have a day where I don't have to worry about what bill is not going to get paid or gets paid today, and you know, what call am I going to get that's my bank account bounced on this one, and that's just the life situation I'm in now. So,
well, yeah, I'd like to see you get to a point where I really would, to where you're making your monthly income tax payments and you don't get in this situation every year.
Right.
Because I could tell you as somebody who struggled to get there, now that I'm there, this is the second year that I've done it, and life, it's like you live on a little bit less, but then you don't live in fear from January to April, you know, and then extend your taxes to October if you're like me. But
and that's all I really gave a shit about from the DSP quartering interview. It was pretty much the gayest game of softball. All we really learned from this is that a DSP and the quartering are way too similar. But I'm going to wrap up this terrible shit post. You can find me on Twitter at BasedOslo. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe and make good choices. Yeah, come in. What's that? Oh, fuck. It's a Gundam already made a video talking about the DSP and quartering interview, and it's way better than mine? Damn it.